Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel for a brand new season of Alliance Wars. Season 48, War number 1 is kicking off, and we have a matchup against ELSA. Brand new set of tactics to cover, so let's do so real quick. The defense tactic for the next 2 seasons is called Magic Thief. It says that defenders will gain a stackable indestructible passive every 5 seconds, or whenever you dex or evade or miss their attacks. And as long as they have that indestructible passive, if they hit your block, they're going to gain 15% of a bar of power per hit. And then if you do not have a tactic attacker, the only way to remove these indestructible effects is by parrying or well-timed block if you can't parry stun. So this tactic presents a very different kind of threat than the previous tactic, which was Crush 2.0. And with Crush, the threat really was imminent death, right? Where, you know, if you didn't get your intercept off and you didn't get those taunts up, you were taking an unblockable special, and if you were against a very tricky defender like Silk, for example, that death was almost guaranteed. If you watched any of my war videos the past 2 seasons, you saw quite a few of those instantaneous deaths, especially against Silk. This tactic is much different in that it's more of like a disruptive or stall type tactic. If you don't manage these indestructibles properly, then you're going to be doing no damage throughout the fight. That's going to mess with the rhythm and flow of the fight, which is something I talk about quite a bit in a lot of my videos. If you have a champ who has a big cash out, like Hulkling for example, or Morbius or whoever, there is a good chance that if you have the indestructible passes on them, your cash out is going to be completely wasted. So there's a really... This is more of like a cerebral type tactic rather than like it's going to kill you for sure type tactic. The good news is that we have a new attacker tactic, which we will cover right here. So the attacker tactic for the next couple seasons is called X-Magica. It says that whenever you perform a well-timed block or you strike the opponent's block with a light attack, you get an indefinite 10% prowess passive, and then these prowess passives can end up being consumed to either prevent or remove an indestructible effect from a tactic defender. So without a tactic attacker, a tactic fight is going to be very difficult, and there are some matchups on the map which I am comfortable saying are going to be pretty much impossible without a tactic attacker. So there is a lot of like strategic blocking in place here, parrying when you can. Parrying during special attacks is something that you're going to see me do in this forthcoming video here, and also quite a bit this season. So yeah, get the prowess up, and then you're pretty much able to manage the tactic much more effectively. Alright, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the war. Our team today, Iceman, Ascended Iceman. I ascended him actually just specifically for this season. And then flanked by Omega Sentinel and Ironheart, who have a fight or 2 apiece, I think. We'll be starting off today on path number 6, and our first fight is a tactic defender. We have a KINGPIN here on node 6 with spiked armor and combat deja vu prowess. So we didn't get any practice with this tactic during the offseason. None of our opponents placed a boss, so this is literally my first ever fight against this tactic. So the plan in here going in was, again, to parry a lot, try and parry his special attacks when they aren't unblockable. They're unblockable during overpower, so you do have to back off there. So we're roughly halfway through the fight here, doing a pretty good job, I think, of managing the tactic. One other thing that the prowess passives do for you, I don't really think they come into play here, is that they actually reduce purify ability accuracy by like 34%. So if you have 3 of them up, you can totally turn off a champion's ability to purify. And again, I'm never really getting enough of them in this fight for it to matter, but you know, it is just something to think about for later. Again, with a nice parry on the special 1 there, and then the special 2 detonates the frostbites and ends the fight. So pretty happy with that one overall. Alright, up on node 15 here we have a SAURON who is not tactic this season, thankfully. Going to be going in with Omega Sentinel. You saw we loaded up the heal block pre-fight here. And unlike pretty much every SAURON that I took the past 2 seasons, I think I nail 100% of my SP1 dexes in this fight. So pretty proud of that. I would mess this fight up constantly with Lady Deathstrike, so really happy to get this one done. This fight is pretty much a nothing fight. As long as you have some way of counteracting his healing, which, you know, a host of different champs can do. We needed Omega Sentinel for a later fight as well. That's why she is on the team rather than somebody else here for this specific fight. And there we go. Guaranteed crit finishes it off. Alright, up in Section 2, we're on Path 7. We have a Rank 3 Shuri here on Node 25. I was originally assigned Hulkling for this fight, asked if I could swap him out for Ironheart, since it was just this fight. The reason I wanted to use Ironheart here was that she counters a lot more of what Shuri is trying to do, just naturally here, right? So with tracking up, which we already have already, we can safely parry Shuri, since she can parry non-contact attacks, and if she happens to go untouchable at any point in the fight, we can still safely hit into her, because the tracking is also a miss counter. So, you know, whereas Hulkling is probably faster in this fight, I really didn't want to play around the make a stand node, because you have to really make sure that the protection is down when you fire off your special 2 with Hulkling. Whereas with Ironheart, you can just spam your special 1. It's easy to just parry and 5-hit and go on. Fight is undeniably longer, but again, just a little bit safer. One of the things that I needed to work on after last season, specifically with Ironheart, was trying to look for better opportunities to finish the fight with my special 2 here. So as I'm doing this fight, I'm trying to tell myself, you know, it's okay to parry and heavy, to remove the protection from make a stand, if you feel like you can make it up to your special 2 and finish the fight. I still don't really do a really good job with that here. We do get the special 2 off, but as you can see, a lot of our incinerates are falling off, just baiting out and waiting for her specials to finish. But the special does end up finishing the fight, so do a little bit better if we get assigned to her more this season. Alright, on Node 34 here we have an ELSA. ELSA is also Tactic this season, and the ELSA Bloodstone in Necropolis actually did a real good job at preparing me for this fight, because I went in wanting to parry the 2 shots from her special 1 for some additional prowess, and I think I get them almost every time. And with those extra prowess from the parries on the special 1, we're able to completely negate the tactic in this fight. Now she is, you know, you do kind of have to worry about her shrugging off, you know, parry stuns, so we're trying to, you know, cycle her special 1 here in order to avoid a situation where we have to choose whether or not we can safely hit into her after a parry. But either way, got a bunch of prowess here. You saw the special 2 I fired off a minute ago. Did a decent amount of damage. We didn't have enough frostbites on her to do a ton of damage, though, like we did in that Kingpin fight. And then I think I try and go with these... Oh, no, I detonate them with the heavy there instead of the special 1. And then one more special 1 with a couple parries, and we finish it off here with a special 1 and some cold snap damage. And that fight is... Wait for it... There we go, over. So that fight went really, really well. That's how I would play an ELSA Bloodstone in this tactic. Alright, on the first mini island, we have my arch nemesis Domino on Node 39. This is the fight we really needed Omega Sentinel for, specifically because she is immune to Nullify, and a Nullify immunity prevents that Power Snack node from triggering. You can definitely play around the Power Snack node if you want, but you know, Omega Sentinel is just a hard counter here. So the only thing I really have to worry about in this fight is the Power Sting from 1 too many hits. So trying to, you know, keep more or less one eye on my HUD there to make sure that the Power Sting is gone before I fire off my special 2. So I'm going to bait out this special 1 here. The Power Sting is just about to expire. Going to hit her with a double medium right into the special 2, and we safely got off that special attack. Hit her with a nice bunch of prowess debuffs. She's lucky, so we back off to avoid the evade, and there we go. Now that Domino was running ouchies, of course. A couple defenders in this tactic were, or in this alliance rather, but alright, last fight of the war for me is a Kate Bishop on Node 41 with Power Focus 2 and Bubble Shield and Scared Stiff. Also going to go in here with Iceman, as you can see. So, not really a lot of danger in this fight, because if Kate hits into your block with her trick arrows, you are immune to the Cold Snap, you are immune to Caltrops, so the only arrow that is actually dangerous to you here is the Tranquilizer, because that is going to prevent your parry stuns from landing. It's also going to prevent your Cold Snap debuff from applying on your special 1. So we're doing a pretty good job in this fight. About halfway through, we're going to combo into the Striker here, and then heavy to detonate the Frostbites, cash out on a little bit of damage there. And then right here, I should have dexed this arrow because I had plenty of prowess on me Instead, I parry it to gain more prowess. She pops the 2 Tranquilize debuffs on me, and now we can no longer parry stun her, nor can we apply the Cold Snap from the SP1. And again, neither of those things are really that important to the rest of this fight, but it is something just to be aware of should you be taking a Kate Bishop with Iceman in the future. Not much else here. We have plenty of prowess to last us through the end of the fight here. And I think one more... Oh, we're just waiting for the Frostbites to expire. There we go. Alright, we did come away with the win here. 6 kills for me, 0 deaths. Got away with a deathless first war. Other people in the Alliance were not so lucky. This was, you know, as I said before, essentially our de facto practice run. We had a lot of very difficult fights that we had, you know, only theoretical counters to at this point. So I'm happy to get through it with 0 deaths, but I'm sure those deaths will come at some point. So record for the season starts at a very positive 1-0. Folks, looking forward to the rest of this season, and remember to hit that like button for me. Sub if you are ready for some additional war videos from me. And as always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.